This is double play episode now.
Yo, what's up?
He is going to be pretty much my, I don't know what to call it, but he's going to be doing most of these podcasts with me. And right now we're just going to cover the trade deadline for MLB. And the trade deadline was pretty crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like some teams we did not expect to buy and they bought. Other teams, they just destroyed their team for the time being.
And other teams, they just were already so amazing, and then they got that one player that just.
Yeah. Okay. But the first trade we are going to go through is the Brewers acquired Jonathan Scope from Baltimore. And the Brewers gave up Jonathan Villar, Luis Ortiz, and Gene Carmona. I'm bad at pronouncing names, but that is who they gave up for Jonathan Scope. What do you think about this trade?
Brewers win it. Brewers win the trade. I mean, Scope is such a. He's a contact. He's that guy that it's almost a sure hit per game, and his defense is really good too.
Yeah. But the Orioles get Jonathan Villar, which is a decent middle infielder. So like he's ready for the majors now because he's in the majors, and he's decent. Like he's not terrible.
Now, I mean, the Orioles are going full rebuild mode. They lost every good player they had, but the two good players that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe they have something planned, but they're going with full Marlins right now.
Yeah. And Jonathan Scope, now if you think about it, the Brewers have the two players of the week on their team right now. Christian Yelich and Jonathan Scope.
Your stream thing just, my notification popped up.
Alright. So, the next trade we're going to discuss is the Dodgers add John Axford in trade with Blue Jays for minor leaguer Corey Copping. So, who do you think won?
I think it's a fair trade, honestly. John Axford is a bit up there.
Yeah.
In age.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just bullpen help.
Yeah.
For the Dodgers.
Yep. Because if you think about it, the Dodgers are getting a veteran relief pitcher, and meanwhile the Blue Jays are getting a relief pitcher that we don't know is major league ready or how he's going to perform in the majors yet.
No. It's one of those things where you gotta risk.
Yeah. So, we're probably going to skip some of the smaller trades and only go after the bigger trades. Like this one, it caught everyone by surprise. The Pirates surprised baseball with a deal for Chris Archer. And if you don't mind, let me go first, please. Because I have to rant about this. They give up Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow, okay? And a player to be named later. But I don't care about them giving up Meadows and Glasnow. What I care about is people are saying that the Pirates got robbed because they gave up Glasnow. But literally, they don't know that Glasnow is not good. I do not care what anyone says. He's tall. He spikes his fastballs. No location. He is not good at baseball. Because he is in AAA. He does good. Gets brought up to the majors. Garbage. That shows you the different batters that AAA has and the majors have. And Clint Hurdle did not trust him to pitch in games that we were winning by 1 or 2. So he put him in whenever we were losing by like 7. And Austin Meadows, on the other hand, we had no room for him. Great ball player, gonna be an all-star one day. We had no room for him. Marte, Dickerson, Polanco, one of the most stacked outfields in the league. We just did not have room with him.
Nope.
Okay, now let's hear your take.
I mean, I agree in full way. Austin Meadows is gonna be Jose Bautista, what we had. Just gave away Jose Bautista, same situation, but we got a better player this time. The rotation helps. It really makes the rotation flexible. I mean, Clint's having more confidence in his pitchers, as you saw last night against the Brewers. Ty Young gave up a 3-run bomb, but he was solid the rest of the night.
Wait, they versed the Cubs.
Or yeah, whatever. Cubs, Brewers, whatever.
Yeah, close enough.
Um, yeah, it's just that's amazing, and especially Dickerson and Chris Archer, you know, back together.
Yeah.
Pirates got a really good pitcher, really underrated, and hopefully he just plays well and isn't waste of a trade.
Yeah, yeah. And he's supposed to make his Pirate debut on Friday, from what I
Friday,
was hearing. Yeah. Against the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Yep, that's
And,
gonna be a
okay, next trade. The Braves get Kevin Gossman and Darren O'Day from Baltimore. So, Darren O'Day, correct me if I'm wrong, is he supposed to be out for the rest of the season?
I believe so.
Okay, so they got him, and we don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. But they got
No,
Darren O'Day. And Kevin Gossman, he stunk it up in Baltimore. He was awful.
no.
But maybe a change in scenario, like what Garrett Cole needed, would be be good for Gossman.
I honestly feel like it's the uh. See, I don't want to say it's the Kawhi almost. Like once Tim Duncan retired, Kawhi didn't want to be the star player. Kevin Gausman was really their star pitcher, even though he stunk it up. I feel like he can't handle the pressure. But with Mike, that rotation is pretty nice, and that just adds. You can put him at reliever also, and it's
Yeah.
just a good help
Hmm.
to the Braves. They're definitely a playoff team, no doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know about World Series because they're a young team,
Yeah.
but it's like the Yankees last year. They're just too young.
Yeah. But I could see the Braves sneaking in at that second wild card spot. Maybe even the first.
Yeah,
And the next trade, it was like a last second trade, and it kind of surprised me. I did not think that he was going to be dealt. The Dodgers bring in Brian Dozier to play second base for Logan
yes.
Forsythe and Luke Rayleigh and Devin Smeltzer.
This is when I say, what are they, what are the Twins thinking?
Yeah. Well, I think I know what they were thinking. Dozier's contract's up at the end of this year, so the Dodgers technically got a 2 month rental, and
Yeah,
maybe the
same
Twin,
Machado.
yeah, and maybe the Twins wanted to get rid of him while they could get stuff for him, because they might have knew that he was gonna leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Twins haven't really been good since around like 2011.
Yeah, even though they made the playoffs last year, but still, they
Yeah,
got beat by the Yankees in the wild card.
they weren't. They were a team that snuck under the radar. They barely got in.
Yeah,
Like, there's so many powerhouses in the AL. I mean, the Mariners, I'm thinking may sneak in. The Indians, no doubt, are winning the Central.
yeah.
I mean,
The
who
Central's
else
weak.
is in the
Central's weak.
Central?
Yeah,
The AL East is
stacked.
honestly, your wild card in the AL East, your second place, could win a division anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because Yankees and Red Sox, they've been tearing it up this year.
I mean, and out West is also
Yeah,
it's stacked
the
over there.
Athletics might sneak in ahead of the Mariners for that second wild card. Yeah.
Um, hold on.
All right. All right, guys. We're just gonna wait here for a little bit.
Alright, my bad.
Okay, you're fine. Okay, next trade. This trade surprised me. The Phillies landed Wilson Ramos from the Tampa Bay Rays for a player to be named later or cash.
Yeah, I mean, that cash could come in. That would be just, that would just top off the trade, not even having to give up a player.
Yeah. But I'm surprised that they gave away an all-star catcher.
Yeah, I mean, he's older.
Yeah.
That the Phillies are a young team. Um, Especially now, you know, people are saying, Arrieta still wouldn't help them. Rise Hoskins really,
Yeah, Hoskins, definitely. MVP candidate one day. Mark my words.
Yep, yep.
I've always been a big Hoskins fan.
Yeah, I mean, what did he have last year? Like a 14-game home run streak or whatever? Like,
Oh no, he hit a lot of home runs. I think he had like almost 40 home runs last season.
yeah.
And Abdul Herrera too. He's gonna be good. Like he's good
Uh-huh.
now, but he's gonna be even better.
That's a young team that's gonna.
Yeah. And next, the Tigers gave away a young outfielder, Leonis Martin, for Kyle Dowdy and Willie Castro. Leonis Martin, like he's good. I saw him play in spring training, cause I was in Florida and I went to a game, Tigers versus Braves, and I saw Leonis Martin play, and he was amazing. He performed well.
He's a great fielder. He has really good speed.
Yeah.
I really like him. He's just one of those players that are under the radar. He's one of those players that you almost like a missing piece to the puzzle.
Yeah. No, that was sort of like a minor trade, but I just wanted to throw that one in there because, I thought it was like weird. But the Indians wanted to add an outfielder, and that's what they did. But
yeah,
while
Michael Brantley, he's either on or off.
yeah, and Bradley Zimmer, he's
Yeah, when he wants to.
Okay. Speaking of
add the consistent, steady player.
Yeah. Speaking of outfielders, though, the next one surprised me 100%. I did not see this one coming at all. The Rays acquired Tommy Pham from St. Louis.
Yeah, I guess you could say they're rebuilding, and this is a place to start.
Because, in my opinion, they got Tommy Pham to be the core of their rebuild around Blake Snell. Those two to be the core of their rebuilding. Because they dealt Wilson Ramos, they dealt Chris Archer. They have no starting pitchers left since Blake Snell's injured. Literally, no starting pitchers. I saw their depth chart yesterday. No starting pitchers. So they're going to go back to that opener that they were running with for a little bit.
Yeah. They really... It's a place to start.
Yeah.
But defense wins championships.
Yeah.
Pitch wins games.
And I think that the reason why they're making all these moves is to have sort of like an interesting core going into their new stadium in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
AAA is where you're going to see a lot of guys caught up next year. Maybe it would be even smart for them to bring them in like towards the end of the season. There's no way they're in playoff contention.
Yeah. Okay. Next, this one, I think that the Reds actually won this trade. The Braves add outfield help of Adam Duvall, but I think the Reds won this trade. For Preston Tucker, Lucas Sims, and Matt Weisler.
Let's see. I like Preston Tucker.
Yeah, so do I.
He's good. You get 3 solid young-ish players for Adam Duvall.
who's been not that great this season.
He's been inconsistent a lot. He's not performing to what he was last year.
Yeah, because last season I was seeing everything on reports. Adam Duvall slugs so and so. He hits another home run, and now this season you don't see anything about him.
No,
The power hasn't been there.
no.
Okay, next, the Pirates bolster their bullpen and add Rangers Keone Kela.
I really like this trade, and actually, the Pirates need it.
Yeah. Even though what they gave up might be a little much. So I think the trade might be equal because they gave up Taylor Hurd, which is a hard throwing 98 99 type of guy, left handed pitcher, which is hard to come by. Felipe Chapman, those are like the only two in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates really need this bullpen help.
If they want to contend for a wild card spot.
Yeah. I mean, Clint normally only throws them 6 innings.
Yeah.
So now you need three, 4 relievers if one messes up. You still need 3, 4 relievers.
Yeah. And so the Pirates had Kyle Crick, who's been performing excellent this season.
Yeah.
And Felipe Vasquez, the 8-9 punch, the 1-2 punch, those guys. But now we could have Crick go 7,
Yeah.
Kela go 8, and Vasquez go 9, and that's unstoppable right there. Sure.
I mean, I really like Kyle Crick at the 7.
Yeah.
If they could put him there.
Yeah.
Just because he's that. I still say that Garrett Cole trade, getting Carl Moran, but David Freese has been on it really.
Yes, he's been sneaky hot. And I think that Neil Huntington got Chris Archer mainly to make up for losing Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Even though they were like, they got rid of Garrett Cole, and then they're like, they pretty much hand the ball to Tyon and say, here, you be our ace now.
And it's that, I feel like it's jitters to stepping up to being your ace
Yes.
of the team.
Especially so young and coming off of that terrible,
Yeah.
horrific thing that happened last season. With the cancer and everything.
Yeah.
But Chris Archer now will be the ace, and it comes to make me think, if you're Clint Hurdle, who do you give the ball to in the wild card game? Chris Archer, Tyon, or Joe Musgrove?
See, and that's where I say it depends if you're home or away. If you're away, you give it to Archer because none of those guys really have it. Honestly, this might be a while off, whatever. I say you give the ball to Nova if it's away. Because, I mean, for countless years, he was the Yankees' 2 or 3 guy.
Yeah.
Sure, he fell off, but it's just, that's when experience comes in.
He also, I could also see them doing this, putting him in the bullpen, because in New York, he was a bullpen guy for a while. So I could see him being put in the bullpen.
I mean, if you're away, you throw your most experienced. If you're home, then it comes to who's been hot recently, who hasn't.
Yeah.
And this year, I say, unless Francisco Cervelli and Chris Archer jail very quickly, I say you still throw Tyon. Unless Tyon's cold, Musgrove's been on it lately.
But
I also like Trevor Williams also.
yeah, but I want to say, Joe Musgrove, though, he's been doing great in the regular season. Keyword regular season. But we saw what he could do under pressure, and he did not impress. He pitched in the World Series last year for the Houston Astros, and he did awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the Chris Archer trade. And I should have said this earlier, but them giving away Austin Meadows is like them handing the ball to Jordan Luplow, who's been impressing recently.
Yeah. I mean, then that's when you say, if, Polanco, Marte, Dickerson, they all get injured a lot. That's when that Luplo getting experience now is just important.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're finally gonna move on for the Pirates. Everyone watching probably got very annoyed that we were on the Pirates for so long. But the reason why we're on the Pirates is because we're not being biased. We just know a lot about them more than any other team.
Yeah.
And next one, I think it was a good pickup for the Red Sox. The Red Sox pick up Angels Ian Kinsler.
Yeah. I mean, it's that just, they like their second baseman.
Yeah, because Dustin Pedroia is likely not coming back, and Devers is out, so they could put Nunez at third and then Kinsler at second.
Yeah. I mean, Xander Bogaerts is just one of the best shortstops.
Yeah, top 5 definitely.
Both ways. Same thing with Edie. I mean, they both got good contact. In my opinion, I think that Bogarts is better just because the speed. The speed plays a very important part.
Uh-huh.
I like his fielding better, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they both have very quick hands.
Yeah.
But I would start Bogarts over Didi.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Next, we got Lance Lynn to the Yankees for Tyler Austin and Lewis Reed. Okay, I'm just going to say, what are the Yankees doing here? Bringing in Lance Lynn? That man hasn't been good for like 30 years.
2012.
Yeah, obviously I'm exaggerating by saying 30 years, but I'm confused on what they were trying to do here.
All I can guess is bullpen. Because he's not a starting pitcher anymore. He's not your guy. But I mean, Severino is really your top guy. And then Tanaka can do when he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And just their third is all over. You can never really decide who it is.
Yeah, like it could be Sonny Gray, but then you saw what he did to the Orioles, which have the worst record in baseball. Like he gave up 7 runs and got booed by the Yankees. Well, what a surprise! The Yankees booed the NL MVP Stanton earlier this season, but still, he got booed by his home crowd.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think: do the Yankees want to catch the Red Sox, or are they just adding players so no one else can have them, and just to add players?
Depth. Yeah, I think they're trying to get depth because they know that they're going to make the playoffs no matter what. They just know that. I feel like they're already too far behind to catch the Red Sox.
Yeah, especially if the Red Sox keep winning like they have. And
yeah,
I have a feeling that Luis Severino's friendlyship, I don't know how to word this, but his friendliness with the Yankees went down ever since that Gary Sanchez incident in Tampa.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
what was Sanchez doing?
It's crazy.
Yeah, and Sanchez, one of the best catchers in the league, is being sat.
I mean, that's dumb. It really is. I mean, are you trying to win games or are you trying to prove a point?
See, I think at this point they already know that they're going to be in the playoffs, and they would rather prove a point than try to win. Because you never know, if they would have left him keep playing, and Sanchez will be like, oh, if nothing happens to me if I jog after a ball, I'm just going to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing like Eli Manning. They sat him last year because they're saying he's underperforming. But, I mean, that's a whole different story. Gary Sanchez and him are no way comparable.
Yeah.
The reasons they got sad, Gary Sanchez didn't hustle, and Eli Manning just, his wide receivers have hands as bricks, so they can't catch the ball. I mean, when you're top 3, 4 wide receivers, you have the best receiving course in the league, and they're all out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Injuries really
Play a major
big-
part in sports.
And then people want to say Gary Sanchez's leg hurt or something.
Yeah, and he got put on a DL too. Like, I
Yeah.
think he just made up his leg hurting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, the next trade. The Astros traded for Blue Jays
Yep.
Osuna
That's
for Ken Giles. Like, listen,
That-
Ken Giles, nothing. But then they also got David Paulino and Hector Perez, which are two amazing prospects in the Astros system.
I mean, Osuna is just what they need somebody better in the bullpen,
Yeah.
Sure.
And
and they really upgraded. And then you think prospects, but then again, do they really need them?
yeah,
I mean, Springer, who's young
and
and performs night after night.
I think Perez or one of them is a catcher. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need depth in catching. Like, Evan Gaddis is good and all, but
Yeah.
he's like sort of on the older side. Same thing with Brian McCann.
Yeah, Brian McCann. That's one of the players who fell off really bad.
Yeah. But, and what the Astros are trying to do is they traded for Osuna, hoping that Osuna performs. This sort of reminds me of the Chicago Cubs Aroldis Chapman deal in 2016. Chapman came back, he performed. He did excellent in the World Series, minus that home run to Rajai Davis, but he did excellent. And now they're hoping for Osuna, because if he doesn't perform, the city of Houston is going to look down on this move for years to come. Okay. Next, the Braves add piece to their bullpen and grab Orioles' Brad Brach.
It's a good pickup.
Now, you're an Orioles fan, right? Sort of.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know much about Brad Brach, but you probably know some stuff about him. So I'm gonna let you take this one. Go ahead.
He's a higher tier Oriole player, but he's like a middle. He's more like almost like a Bastardo, where he has his games where he can just pitch corner, he could just dot up the strike zone and strike people out. Then he has the games where he throws it in the dirt or 5 inches off the plate. So he has more on games than he does off.
Okay. So what you were saying about him, like throwing pitches, that sort of reminds me whenever the Pirates brought in Tyler Glasnow. From whenever we were winning by 1 or 2, he started spiking fastballs, no control. But whenever we're getting blown out by like 7, he comes in excellent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Brad really hasn't a chance to actually play in any close games. So they either get blown out or they just don't throw him once.
Okay. The next move, the Brewers went big and landed Mike Moustakas for outfielder Brett Phillips and minor league right-handed pitcher George Lopez.
It's a really good pickup. It just adds more. They are very offensively heavy. They have Yelich. They have Aguilar. They have Eric Thames in left field. I mean, now you're adding Moose. He's either really good. Like, once he gets consistent, he's your sure hit per game. Almost like what happened to David Freeze.
Yeah. And Moose, he made a nice play for them the other night against the Dodgers. He made a diving play, got the out at first. And his pitcher, I forget who was pitching, but he pitched amazing against the Dodgers in that 1-0 victory. And they moved Travis Shaw to second, which was weird because a big guy like him playing second.
Yeah.
While we have small people like Pedroia and Altuve that played second, and Torres.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have the Phillies that acquired Asdrubal Cabrera from the Mets right before the game against the Pirates. Now, Cabrera, he's on the older side. He's 32 years of age. But he has been doing good this year. He's been hitting the ball well. And I think it was time for a move to a winning team.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great trade, honestly.
Yeah.
And this is when you start to think veterans for the younger players.
Yeah, especially for a playoff team, they want someone that's been there before. So
yeah,
they don't want these younger players that they might get nervous because it's their first time in a big atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, that NL East, the NL is actually pretty stacked.
Yeah.
I mean, think NHL, NL Central, you got possibly 4 teams contending for a spot.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals have kind of faded, but
they're 1.5 games behind the Pirates as of this moment, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Mets kind of need that help, especially after what happened last night. Well, but you know, the NL now with this, it's gonna be the Nationals, Mets, and Phillies, and Braves. I mean, you really got a 4-way contention in all three NL divisions, and then the AL is just overpowered. You know, you got the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mariners, the Indians, and the Astros. I mean, that's your 5 playoff teams.
And speaking of stacked divisions, are you done talking about that trade? Okay. Speaking of stacked divisions, and adding veterans, that's what I think this team did. The Diamondbacks added Eduardo Escobar.
Yeah. I mean, their pitching is really, you know, they have 2 of the best, 2 of the top 5 winning pitchers this year with Greinke and that's the other guy now.
Robbie Ray.
I'm pretty sure it's Robbie Ray.
And wait, then, I think there's another dude.
Like after 3 or 4, then they just start to drop them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's either once they get hot, they stay hot, but then once they lose 2 games, then they're probably out for like 5, and then they just gotta, work it until they get to their 1-2 again.
Yeah, they went into Chicago and they smacked the Cubs around.
Yeah.
And I believe, if I'm right, that with the Dodgers losing to the Brewers, the Diamondbacks now took first place in the NL East. I mean West.
I believe so, but I'm not sure.
Because I was watching MLB Network earlier, and it showed the wild card race, and the Diamondbacks weren't there, but the Dodgers were. So I'm just
By
assuming that that's what
talking
happened.
about divisions, the Athletics are my sleeper to make it in. They're gonna slide in, and
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna win the wild card, no matter who they play.
Even if they play the Yankees?
They're still winning the wild card.
Oh,
I just
the
think that
Yankees at Yankee
the
Stadium.
last time you remember Josh Donaldson. The last time the Athletics had playoffs, you saw all the fans just. It's the atmospheres that make a difference. I mean, you never really see the Athletics. You know, they're just so strong. I mean, even if you go to Yankee Stadium, that's like 3,000 miles away from Oakland, but it's still, you won't see that much of green there. But if the Yankees start losing, it just brings the fans bring a bad vibe.
Yeah.
And if the Athletics get on top, they're just gonna stay on top and jump on it.
Yeah, because I think that the fans bring down the players sometimes. Because if the Yankees end up going down in the wild card, there's two things that are going to happen. The Yankee fans are going to be even louder, or they're going to start booing the Yankees.
Yeah.
They're either gonna get louder to try to get in the A's head, or they are going to start booing their own players.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all that stuff you really don't put into account until you see, Mariners make the playoffs. That's gonna be hard to beat. Give me a second.
All right.
All right. What's up?
All right. So the Mariners acquired Sam to. I'm not even gonna. Do you know who I'm talking about though? Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that name. Sam Tuivalu. Okay, I tried. Okay, now he pitched 31 games with the Redbirds this year. His numbers are mediocre. They're so bad. He has a 3.69 ERA and a 7.4 Ks per nine.
That's not the greatest stats.
Yeah, the Mariners took a gamble here.
They using bullpen. That's the only thing I'm thinking of from the Mariners.
Okay, so there's really not much to say about that, but I think the Cardinals won that trade.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one though, there might be a lot to say about. He's making his debut as we speak. The Cubs traded for Cole Hamels.
That's when you say, you get the veteran. I mean, this team is already a World Series winner. And then you put in another one. It's Cole Hamels. I mean, it's another one of those. He's either on or he's off.
Yeah, and it seems like he performs better away because I'm looking at his numbers right now, and he's a 2.93 ERA away, but a 6.41 ERA at home. So I think this is a Garrett Cole situation where he needed a change in scenario because he could not perform well in that ballpark.
No.
And I don't know what he's doing right now, but he's pitching right now as unless he didn't get taken out of the game already, which I doubt he has. But he's pitching right now against the Pirates. So we'll see what happens. Actually, should I just look at that score real quick?
It's 1-0.
Who's winning?
Cubs.
Pirates? Okay.
No, the Cubs are up.
Cubs are up? Okay. So, the Yankees now, they added J.A. Happ.
That is another one of those. He can be your 5.
Yeah.
He can either be a bullpen or be your 5.
Yeah,
That's another thing about the Yankees. If you jump out on them first, they're not coming back.
yeah. Yeah, you don't see them come back this year a lot. Even though they almost made a comeback earlier today against, I think, against the Orioles. They almost
Yep.
made a comeback.
Fine.
Gleyber Torres hit that
Perfect.
3-run home run, and that almost put them back in the race for the
Yep.
win. But this is what I don't understand. The Yankee fans complain about how the Red Sox have an easy schedule, but whenever the
The worst
Yankees
team in
have
the
a
league.
chance to verse the sub 500 teams, they fold and they don't succeed. They fail. But it's a completely different team whenever they go out there and verse the Astros or the Dodgers. Completely different team.
Yep.
I feel like Stephen A. Smith now. Oh my gosh. From whenever he was talking about the Washington Wizards. I showed you that clip. Yeah, but Hap did good in his Yankees debut. 6 scoreless. So he didn't get booed, which is a bright spot.
I mean, that's sad. You gotta say that, but
Yeah, it's sad, I gotta say that. Okay. The next one, the Brewers, in my opinion, needed this. They acquired Joakim Soria from the Chicago White Sox.
that's big bullpen help.
Yeah. I think that they needed that. They could even have him start if they wanted.
Yeah.
Because their starting pitching with Sutter going down, not that great.
No.
Like, meanwhile, they got an amazing bullpen with Hader and Knievel.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the starting pitcher kind of folds. Okay. Now, the Astros added Martin Maldonado in trade with the Angels. So the Astros got that catching help that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he hasn't been that amazing this year with the Angels
No.
like he was last year.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the Astros, that's the only thing they're really missing out on.
What, a catcher?
Yeah.
Well, maybe first base too, because Yoli Gurriel is up and down.
We'll see. Then you can put Gaddis at first if you get a good catcher.
Yeah, because Gaddis, he rakes.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, the only reason I'm throwing this in is because of what he did in his debut. The Rays trade Nathan Eovaldi to the Red Sox.
Oh, that's that makes the Red Sox even. He's at 4. That he's like I can't think of his name right now.
Clay Buckles,
Pitcher for the Dodgers.
Oh. Ross Stripling.
Yeah, he's like Ross Stripling. He's at 4 pitcher that is underrated.
Because him and Jay Ahab made their new debuts the same day, but they both did amazing, don't get me wrong. But Nathan outperformed Jay Happ only by 1 inning.
Yeah.
Okay, next one kind of surprised me. And I don't think it was needed, but it definitely helps with their lack of starting pitching. Zach Britton lands with the Yankees to increase their bullpen depth.
That's one of those. It's not needed, but it is at the same time.
Yeah. And because their bullpen's already pretty stacked. Now they just added Britain, and now they have Betances. They have Betances and Chapman. And Chad, wait, Chad, that's his name, right? That other dude. I forget his name. Crap, he throws hard though. I forget his name though. I was just looking at the shop earlier and I saw him in the video game. I forget his name. Um, if I think of it, I'll say it. But they have Chapman and Betances, which really good. Betances has been up and down this season though, but Chapman, consistent, flamethrower. Okay. Jeurys Familia heads to Oakland.
That's a good pickup.
He hasn't been performing this well though for New York. He's been blowing a lot of saves.
Yeah. It's another one of those you say change of scenery.
Yeah. Someone else that might have needed a change in scenery even though he was an all-star closer. Wow, with the Padres. The Indians got Brad Hand.
Oh, that's honestly, I like that trade a lot.
But it came with a price as they gave away Francisco Mejia.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can consider him a prospect anymore, but very good prospect.
I don't know if you say, it's one of those things where you say, you win now, you want to go for it now, or you want to go in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Pirates, Polanco, he's a prospect. He was a young prospect. Josh Bell.
Yeah,
and then you got these veterans in there like Cervelli, Freeze, Dickerson now. Dickerson really helps fill up the gap.
Yeah, he does. Too bad he's on the disabled list right now, though.
Yeah.
So that gives Lupler
time to shine.
Yeah. Exactly what I was gonna say. Okay, we got one more trade to discuss here, and you probably already know what it is. We did not discuss it yet, even though we talked about it a little bit, but it wasn't the main discussion. The Dodgers got Manny Machado from Baltimore. So now the Dodgers have a good double play Turner.
Yep.
They got Machado at short, Dozier at
but
second.
Then let's say Corey Seager.
Yeah. Well, they got Machado just for the time being because Seager's out for the rest of the season. But Machado's probably going to leave because he's a rental.
I just don't know if Machado would stay or if he'd go somewhere else. It's just the Bryce Harper question again.
Here's my thing that I think is going to happen. The Bryce Harper question. If the Nationals miss the playoffs, Bryce Harper is 100% out. But if they make the playoffs and get past the first round, he's more than likely going to stay. But if the Dodgers, with Manny Machado and Brian Dozier, get to the World Series, I know that's a little bit of a stretch, but if they get to the World Series, I think Manny Machado is going to stay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's it for the trades, but I have something else you want to discuss if you're fine with it. Okay, give me your top 3 candidates in the National League for MVP right now, and I'll give you mine. Hold on, guys, give us a second. Okay, guys, that has been it for this podcast. Pretty simple podcast, but that's been it for Double Play, and we'll see you in episode 2. Peace out.